Would you mind taking a step up? Weekend, what are you seeing out of your group so far?
Well, I tell you, it's a lot of good competition going on, and in the punting aspect and kickoff, and the guys have really improved a great deal.
What excites you most about your group?
Well, you have Stack back for his second year, and we got a year under his belt, and you can tell he's a lot more comfortable back there, and he's been actually doing all three. He's been punting, he's been kicking off, and he's been doing field goals. So he's a lot stronger. So he's been impressive.
You see him as the odds-on favorite at the kicker spot, and then
Well, yeah, we got a lot of guys back there. Stack's doing a good job. Moan is doing a great job. Our new signee, Snee, has done a great job. He's added a different dimension for us. Emerson's doing a great job. So, they've all raised their level of performance. And competition's not bad.
for both those kicking and punting.
Yes.
You mentioned Snee brings a different element. What's that?
Well, Australian punters, they really specialize in, the rugby style punting, and he has an incredible ability to do a lot of different things with the ball.
Did he have much experience actually playing football before coming over? And if not, like, what has it been changed?
You
Strange
know,
kind of working with that?
Most of those guys over there, they play the Australian rules football,
Yeah.
where it's really similar to rugby, but it's very physical. I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but they run around, they get tackled. They specialize in kicking the football a certain way, and all different types of things. It's amazing what those guys learn about that part of playing football, which is a very physical. But prior to actually being here, he's had to learn American rules football. So, about everything about the fourth down and what's allowed, and he also works as a holder. So, it's been a learning process for him.
How has he handled that?
He's done very good. Like I said, the competition is pretty interesting right now. So,
Did you see him being the punter this year?
Well, it's too early. It's practice 6. We work punting today, and we have a long ways to go before we start determining, the depth chart, who's going to do what. But he's definitely going to be a guy that we consider.
What are the things you're looking for to pick a guy to be a returner?
I'm sorry.
What are
sir?
the things you look for in a guy to be a returner for you?
Well, reliability. We chart these guys every day, on being efficient at catching the football. That's number one. Possession of the ball is number one. So we got a camera on them all the time. So, we've got a lot of guys to look at back there, and so we're still in that process of evaluating and seeing where everybody is.
Who are those guys? Right, guys you can name that are back there right now?
What unit? Punt return. Dylan Mitchell's been back there. Marty Ugo's been back there. We got some young freshmen back there. We got the grad transfer Tabari Hines. He's back there. Kickoff return TBJ, Red. Travis Dye. Who else we got there? Daywood Davis. I mean, we got some depth, so a lot of guys to look at. So we look at guys being the call returner and the off returner, but they both are interchangeable.
Coach was saying the other day, Mario was saying that guys who are in position battles, you're trying to teach them snap value, that, hey, you're not just trying to compete for linebacker, but you're also trying to beat this guy out for a kickoff return unit type deal. Is that part of it too, is kind of teaching these guys that they're not just going offense, defense, but they need to try to compete for one or two on special teams?
Absolutely, because special teams is a big part of the game. It's a third of the game, and we have some guys coming back from last year that did a really good job playing on special teams, like Brendan Schooler. I mean, this guy. He can play every phase, but he's also going to play every down on offense too. So he can't play on every phase, but he'll play on a couple, maybe 2 or 3. But we're going to have some other guys ready to step up and be able to go in there and do a great job for us.
Seems like typically special teams coaches, or like a position coach, they coach a different position as well. What kind of benefits are there to kind of be able to focus entirely on this group?
Well, I kind of get around the offensive players a little bit. So, once the kickers are, they're in the warm-up phase, or or a cool down phase, I may jump over there with the tight ends or the offensive line or wide receivers, or maybe even jump in with a linebacker or something. So, because I like looking at all the guys when they're working, and then watching the team competition. So I kind of get around a little bit, and then I'll sit in. I'll sit in with the offense and after I get all the special team stuff done.
Got it.
And visit with them.
Sorry to interrupt. You've had quite a few more months and practices to look at the new kickoff rule, seen it in practice, I imagine. Do you think that's going to be as big a change as everyone thought in the spring?
Oh, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge because there'll be some different strategies that'll go with the with the kickoff rule, being able to have a touchback, inside the 10-yard line. So, we've worked some things the last time we did kickoff and kickoff return to get prepared for that.
Bobby, one position that kind of gets overlooked is long snapper. Tanner Crew was there for 4 years. How much have you had a chance to work with the new guys trying to?
Well, Devin Melendez did most of the duties in the spring, and prior to early in his career, he's had a little bit of game experience, so he's snapped in the game, and he's done a great job. And then we got a couple of young kids that are really doing good, so pretty good competition going there too. But that position never gets in. You never notice that position until the ball goes over somebody's head. It's like, who's in there snapping the ball? But they've been efficient.
You mentioned Snee kind of brings the different elements. What do the other punters bring to the table?
Well, there's backed up, being able to flip the field, with the spirals, and then there's the Aussie style when you're going in, and then there's also the rugby part of it. And so, you're looking at 3 different types of punts, but also looking at a guy that can do 3 different types of things when he's punting the ball. That's what Snee brings.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thank you.
All right.